Well, so your wrap up on the Wisconsin game. I was disappointed in maybe the factors that hurt us most, and that was rebounding the ball and getting loose balls. I thought they got more of them. You get out rebounded by 14, 10, 12. That's not good. I thought our guard play offensively, AJ played well. I thought defensively, or offensively, they took Tyson out of the game a little bit, and we took him out of the game. But I thought defensively, our guard play is just not good enough. We have to get better in that area. We have to rebound better from our guards. It's pretty simple and basic. Marty's actually done a hell of a job rebounding the ball, and it hurt to have Malik in foul trouble, and that was part of our demise. But Wisconsin is a very good team that played very well at home, and that's the negative of the situation, that we didn't play our best and we played against a very good team. In Michigan, I don't think their record is really indicative of them. It's been a strange year for them with Jawan being out part of the year. I think they've also had the situation with their point guard that you don't get to see every day, and not knowing all the circumstances. I just give them credit for whatever way they felt they should handle it. But through all that, every game they've been in, just about right to the wire. They played a lot of 3, 4, 5-point games to the last minute of the game. So I don't think their record is indicated what the talent they have. And Kamwa, he is we couldn't guard him at Tennessee when we played him 2 years ago. He had 20 in that game. It's an exhibition game, but it was a real game. He's a very good player. Reed is, I think, as big a guy as we have in this league. He's got size, but he's got athletic ability. He's got strength. Can do a lot of things. And Williams has been there forever. Great three-point shooter that I think has hurt us in the past. He hurt us last year down there. The issue is with their point guard and who will play, but the kid that's playing was supposed to be a starter last year, blew his knee, and now he's coming back off that injury. So I think they're a dangerous three-point shooting team, as they've shot almost 9 threes a game, or made almost 9 threes a game, is one of the top in the Big Ten. And yet I think their strength is their size inside and what they do with Kumwa and of course Reed. Teixeira's a guy that comes off the bench that can go inside or outside, but he too has made a lot of threes. So yeah, it'll be about them, but it's going to be about us too and how we play. And I think defensively we've got to ratchet it up on another notch, and I think rebounding we've got to ratchet it up 2 notches. Questions?
Hey Tom, there was a photo on social media. It looks like you and Juwan on a recruiting trail together, but in the gym, back to the wall, just kind of talking. What's the difference between preparing to go against your in-state rival and having that time in the gym with him as just 2 coaches on a recruiting trail?
Well, we were in a gym together, and it was right after, he still wasn't 100% back. And rivalries aside, when things are life and death, or when things are, I did call him early in the year. Phil Martelli, understaff, is a very, very good friend of mine, and he took over. But, I think we all are human, and I always say a rivalry is a rivalry, and it should be a rivalry. But when people's lives are kind of in question, at least serious enough where you're out that length of time, we talk more about that and more about the state of college basketball than we did about our teams, if I was to be honest with you.
Thank you.
When it comes to going after loose balls and rebounding, a lot of that is just effort. You mentioned effort-related issues after the last game. Defense again is another one that nobody wants to do, but you have to put effort into doing it. Why do you think, with this team being so seasoned and having so many older guys, that it's just been hard for them to apply themselves in those areas?
Well, at times we've been very good defensively, and I'd say that your question is right on as far as consistency. I don't think we've been consistent enough on it, and it always has to fall on the coach. And I say that you know, we get limited at times with the 4 spot especially, but I really think AJ is a guy now that has improved his offense tremendously, and yet his success, I think, now and later on would be in his ability to defend and pass the ball and handle the ball. You know, a year ago we were complaining all the time, never about rebounding, we were complaining about turnovers. And now we're one of the better turnover teams in our league as far as numbers. But I think sometimes when you worry about your offense, it affects your defense. It shouldn't for AJ, because he's a very, very, very good defender when he wants to be. I think Tyson's one of the best defenders, and I think Jaden could be. I thought this would be one of my better defensive perimeter teams, and they've been good at times. In fact, they've been real good in some games if you look at the games. I just think that everybody wonders about our inside game. Our perimeter game, you have to be able to do more than just score it. You got to be able to defend it. You got to be able to rebound it. You got to be able to get the loose balls. That's the job of the guard play, and I don't think we've done as good a job of that. And that was the challenge we put to our guys this week. And hopefully we'll see a response.
Tom Jackson played, I think, 14 minutes against Wisconsin. Is he starting to kind of get there physically, and what role do you see for him going forward?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think when you lose a game, you're always looking. I'm looking for my starters to play a little better. I'm looking for, you know, can we get a little more scoring in there? Jackson will bring that. I'm been pleased with the progress Booker's made. I think he's practiced better in the last 3 weeks, and still has things he's got to improve on. But Jackson Kohler is definitely a guy that can score it. He's not back as far as when you watch him move. He's physically strong enough to do some things. He's not moving as good yet, and so you know, I think the positive is Marty is done up until that last game, and even then he got 7 rebounds, but he's been pretty much, for the minutes he plays, he's probably averaging more rebounds and block shots than anybody we play per minute. And we're just looking for more because we're not getting enough from somebody else. But I think the other positive for us has been Malik, other than the Northwestern game, has probably had 8, 9, 10 games in a row where he's been pretty sufficient and maybe even very good. And it's the only thing that's really hurt him has been foul trouble in 2 games. And so we've got enough depth to play people, but we need a Malik Hall in there. We're going to get Jackson more and more time. I think we're going to try to get Booker a little more time, but at the same time, you know, I'm putting a little pressure on our guards. Our guards got to play better at both ends.
Tom, a Michigan team that's still trying to figure out what it's going to do without McDaniel. Obviously not a lot of confidence. Are these the sort of games where you really want to put your foot on somebody early and make sure they don't find whatever they're missing?
Well, for sure, you know, but I think I want to do that in a lot of games. But you know, the point guard they got coming in is he's done a good job. I mean, he's taken a lot of shots. I mean, they give him more shots. He's hit more threes. They've been more consistent from the 3. So, you know, can we pressure him a little more, wear him down, get a running game going a little more? I think there's no question that would be in the game plan, and that's what we hope to do. But, you know, I mean, he was a damn good player last year coming in. I mean, really good player. The knee injury hurt him, or he would have probably started last year. And he is coming back on his own now. The knee looks better and better every game I see him in. I don't know, I'm not there on a daily basis, but yeah, I think anytime you, number one, the rivalry game, but number 2, a team that is trying to find themselves. The negative for our fans and media and everybody else is to go check their scores and look at the end of games. I mean, they've been in every game. And so we've got to make sure that we just take care of our business, not worry about what issues they have and problems. It's might have been a tough situation to have your coach out for a third of the year and then have this situation with your point guard where he's playing home and not away. If that continues, I mean, that's an issue too, that I don't wish on anybody, to be very honest with you.
I'm wondering a little bit about Jaden in particular. Talking about guys that you want to get consistency from, particularly on the glass. How much more can he provide when you talk about the team being a little undersized and you know you had the 11 rebound game to start the year? What does he need to do with that piece?
Well, I think it's consistently go every time, you know. I mean, we're getting a lot of guys leaking out. He's been one of them, you know, trying to leak out on our fast break, and we can run by rebounding, you know. We've proven that over years and years of it. Your wings are rebounding, you still can get down the floor. So I think that's one thing for Jaden. He's a great athlete. You know, he hasn't shot the ball as well lately, and sometimes your offense affects your defense. But, you know, he's not 6'7" or 6'8" either, where he's going to be able to just go in there and out-rebound. A lot of the rebounds we're not getting are loose ball rebounds, and that's where guards got to gobble them up. But you got to be in there to gobble them up. And I think we've leaked out too much, and I think that falls on me and my staff as much as it does the players. So we're trying to correct it, and that'll be critical moving forward, I think, for us.
Is that tough when, you know, you do want to run at the same point? Like,
It's not tough to me because the system wasn't 2 guys rebound and 3 guys run. The system was 5 guys rebound, and then we still run. And I think that's why some teams we haven't gotten killed on the offensive glass. I mean, it's not like some team got 15 offensive rebounds. You know, 9, 10, 11 is pretty normal. I don't know, I think Wisconsin got 11. But, so it's not always that, it's the loose balls that I don't know if are even counting as rebounds. But it seems like we're not coming up with enough of those, and I'm putting that on our guards. I really am. I think they're the ones that gotta get that.
Sorry. So I want to address the elephant in the room. There's a cloud over the city of Detroit right now. You talked about Dan Campbell, your appreciation for him. Any encouraging words you have for him as a coach, or the Lions, or the fan base right now?
I did watch, you know, most of that game last night, and it's just, you know, your guy's job is to analyze, the talking head's job is to analyze, and I'm listening right away to comments about going for it. You know, we dropped 2 passes that one of them was on a 4th down that would have probably been canonizing him and putting a crown on his head if we would have caught the one, because I think that would either led to a touchdown or an easy field goal. And it started the, you know, the whole, but going for it on 4th down, it was no surprise to the announcers. It was no surprise to me because I followed them. I just get a kick out of people think you can play one way one time and another way another time. And he probably went for those 5, 6, 7 times, different games at the beginning of the year, and won a lot of them. And that's why he got a rep for doing it. But if he didn't win those games, he wouldn't have been playing in last night's game. And that's what's hard. You know, I understand it's hard from people outside looking in standpoint, you know, like kick the field goal, get the points, you know. I've heard people argue over the analytics. I laughed about that because I heard some guys today say, well, the analytics don't tell you everything, you know. Well, geez, I said that, got killed for it, you know. So I just love the fact that I think in every job, you know, a lot of guys can do my job, and a lot of guys can do football's job, and a lot of guys can do jobs around the country, but there are perfect fits in some jobs for perfect guys. You know, you followed Steve Kerr. I mean, for me, Steve Kerr was a great fit for that type of team that was, and I always said that, you know. To me, Dan Campbell is a great fit for the city of Detroit. You know, the blue collar city, the working on the lines. I saw where they postponed an hour or something of the production line. I didn't catch all of it. I said, it's perfect. You know, it's who we are, what we are. It's the culture you want to be in, and I'll take that loss for having the courage to go for things and making your team believe in that. And he's done that day after day after day after day. Now you're going to get to the biggest game and say, I don't think you guys are good enough now. You know, I heard some of his pregame about, you know, you've earned the right to be here. And that is something that I went through early in my career. You know, do you believe you can win in the big games? You can't put yourself in there and then change your philosophy. I mean, you know, we're all going to question some things, but if we make some catches, I think we're canonizing him today for all those tough decisions that he made. And I'm canonizing him anyway, because I just believe that he did what he's done all year, and we won games that maybe we would have lost if he didn't do it. That's the philosophy. That's what he lives by. And I do think I know I'm proud to have him as our head coach of, you know, one of the most important things in our state sports-wise, and that's the Detroit Lions. And I think we're going to be building to some really good things down the road.
Great, thank you. Tom, when you started, you mentioned it's going to be more about us. I'm just wondering, you know, there's never any diminishing the rivalry and the emotional element, but for these two teams at this stage of the season, do you get the sense that it's more just sort of about basketball for this game in terms of both teams trying to get something going?
Well, let's face it. I mean, we've both been involved in championship runs at this time of year, or later in the last 10 years, it seems like. And right now we're both struggling a little bit. So is it just about basketball? I think the whole world has changed. You know, I don't know. I mean, everything seems to be about yourself now, you know. But I still think the rivalry is important. I think everything gets diminished some as you're seeing all these new additions to conferences and different things that are going on. But as long as I'm alive, the rivalry will always be the rivalry. I'm sure in Juwan's case, or John Beeline's before him, it will be, at least in our era. What happens beyond that, I don't know. But right now, I think both teams are looking for their team to play a little bit more consistent for 40 minutes, not for 30, not for 35, not for 20, but for 40 minutes. And I know that's what we're looking for. And if we can get that, I mean, we've had some great outings lately. You know, I mean, we've had some great halves. We just haven't had, I think, many great full games, and that's what you need to do to win, especially to win on the road.
Anything else?
Wow, I guess that's the good news. Well, enjoy the day, and hopefully it'll be a great game tomorrow.
Thanks, Tom.
Man, the crew is stalking you.
Did you take grill? I said no, I didn't.